Hello viewers, welcome to the digital class of Udayanath Autonomous College of Science and Technology. In today's class, we will be describing a new concept, that is array. In our previous videos, we have already discussed what is the concept of loop and how to use the loop, nested loop, how to construct a pyramid using the nested loop. So in today's class, we will be describing the concept of array. So what do you mean by array and why it is used? So in our previous videos we have seen a lot of programs in which we have written that we have to accept a number or we have to enter two numbers, but when the number is increased or we have to accept a number of values, that means suppose I have to write a program to enter 50 numbers. In this concept, that means 50 numbers will be stored in 50 different variables, which becomes very difficult for the user to use it in a program. So it becomes very difficult to learn which variable is holding which value. So for this reason, the concept of array has been used. So what do you mean by the concept of array? So array has a single name. That means array will carry a single name. It will carry a single data type, and we under same data type we can store a number of values. That means we will have a single name under a single data type which can store a number of values. These are the characteristics of an array. So in an array we will have a single name. So single name means we will consider only a single variable, and in this variable we can store a number of values, and the data type of this array should be same. That means if I am specifying a array of n of 3, that means it will store n of 3 blocks in the memory. So it will store 3 blocks of memory from 0, 1, 2. So what do you mean by 0 and 1 and 2? So actually these are called the indexes of array, and all the index always starts with a 0. So whenever I am writing int n of 3, that means n is the name of the array having value 3. That means it will store 3 memory blocks, and each block can store 3 integer values. That means I can store any number within the block of the array. So this is a general form of writing the array. So here we have a single data type, here we have a single name, and here we have to specify the size of the array. So size of the array means what is the number of blocks or what is the number of values that we can store in an array. So these are all about the array. So what is the benefit of using array? Here you can see that we can take a number of values. That means we can store a number of values under a single name, which implies that whenever suppose a user will ask me what is the value of the 50th element or 50th value, what is the variable name of the 50th value, so I can easily tell that 49, because as the index starts from 0, so the 50th value will be stored in the n of 49 variable. So it becomes very easy for the user to hold the values, to remember the values and use it within the program. So these are all about the concepts of array, in which the array index plays a very vital role. The array index always starts with the value 0 and it will continue accordingly to the size of the array. Similarly, the values which are being stored in the array are called the elements of array. So whenever we are writing the or declaring the array name or array, so we have to specify a data type, a name, size of the array, and whenever we will store the values that will be stored are called the elements of the array, and every element will be stored in the index of the array. So index of the array always starts with 0. So these are the normal concepts of array. So whenever we will store the values, we can store the values using the index of the array. So let's say I have to store 54 in n of 0, so I can simply write n of 0 equal to 54. So I have to use the square brackets to store the values. So n of 0 equal to 54, I will write n of 1 equal to 199 and I can write n of 2 equal to 144. So when I will write n of 0 equal to 54, that means 54 will be stored in the n array of index 0. Similarly, when I will write n of 1 equal to 199, so 199 will be stored in n array having the index number 1. Similarly, when I will write n of 2 equal to 144, 144 will be stored in the n array having the index 2. So in this way we can store the values of the array. So basically array is of three types: one dimensional or single dimensional array, two dimensional or double dimensional array, three dimensional or multi-dimensional array. So in some books it may be written as multi-dimensional array, or in some books it may be written as three-dimensional array. So we have three categories of array: one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. Till now what we have discussed is about one-dimensional array. First we will solve all the problems related to one-dimensional array, then we will move to two-dimensional array and three-dimensional array. So the next step is to how to use the array in a program. Now let's see how to use the array. So first of all I have to specify the data type of the array, because the general syntax of an array is, first of all we have to specify the data type of array, then I have to give the array name, and then we have to specify the array size. So this is the general syntax of writing or declaring a array. So in place of data type I can write int, then array name let's say n, and array size let's say 3. So this is the general formula or general syntax of writing the array. So whenever I will write int n of 3, that means n will be the array of 3 memory blocks starting off with the index number 0, and 3 continuous memory will be reserved. So another main characteristics of array is that it will store continuous memory locations. So what do you mean by continuous memory locations? Let's say example, in a program I will take two variables. Let's say I will write int x and I will write int y. So let's say these are the memory blocks. So when I will write int x, so x will reserve a memory in RAM and then it will move to the next line int y. But it is not necessary that y will be stored just after the x. So consequent memory locations will be stored is not necessary. So it will search for the free space. That means let's say this memory block are filled up. So this one is, let's say this memory block is free. So int y means y will reserve this memory. That means in a single program also, if I am taking different variables, it is not necessary that they will reserve the continuous memories. They will be reserved when they are free. That means the memory block which are free will be reserved by the variables if we are storing different variables. But in case of array, the array will be using the continuous memory blocks from the memory locations. That means suppose let's say I have this one as memory locations. So when I will write n of 3, so when there will be 3 continuous memory locations, in that place only the array will be stored. That means let's say these 3 will be free, so it will store the numbers in 3 continuous memory having the name n and 3 memory blocks. So these are the characteristics of array. That means it will store the memory locations continuously. And another thing is that the size of int, as we have discussed in previous classes, is 2 bytes. So let's say the first memory block has the memory address as 201, so the next one will have 203. Why 203? Because it will store 2 bytes, that means 201, 202. Second one will start with 203 and it will move up to 204, and the last one will be 205, 206. That means in this way the memory will be calculated in case of array. Similarly, if I will take character data type, character ch of 4, that means it will reserve 4 continuous character data type, and as the size of character is 1 byte, so let's say it is 300, the address of the memory is 300, so next one will be 301, 302 and 303. So in this way the memory is calculated. So this is a general interview question, that when we will be storing a array, so what will be the memory address of the consequent blocks. So in this way the memory address will be calculated for the array. So these are all about how to declare an array, how to store the values, and how the memory blocks will be reserved by the array. So these are all about the array concept. Next we will be moving to a program in which we will solve a program array. Now let's take an example of how to store 3 numbers into an array and print it. So the program to store 3 numbers into an array and print it is here. So the general syntax of writing a C program is has include stdio.h. This is a general syntax of writing a C program. Then void main. Now we have to store 3 numbers into an array. So we have already discussed how to declare an array. So I have to specify the data type first, then the name of the array, then the size of array. So here we have to store 3 number, that means the size of the array is fixed, that is 3. So we have taken 3, the size of the array is 3 in this program. Now we have to store the numbers and we have to print it. So how to store the numbers? Simply we have to specify the index of the array within the square bracket, and we have to specify the name of the array. So this is the syntax of initializing the values. So n of 0 equal to 54, then n of 1 equal to 144, n of 2 equal to 259. Now I have to print the values. So to print the values, printf function is used, printf \n %d n of 0. Similarly, printf \n %d n of 1. Finally, printf \n %d n of 2. So here you can see I have written int n of 3. That means n will be the name of the array having 3 memory blocks. That means it will store 3 continuous memory blocks in the memory, and as per the rule of the array, the index starts from 0. So we have the indexes as 0, 1 and 2. So we have to store the numbers according to the indexes. So first index will come n of 0. I have written n of 0 equal to 54. That means 54 is the value which will be stored in n of 0. In the next line, I have written n of 1 equal to 144. That means 144 will be stored in n of 1. Similarly, I have written n of 2 equal to 259. That means 259 will be stored in n array having the index as 2. So we have stored the numbers. That means we have already covered the first part of the program. Next, we have to print the array values. So to print the value of the array, we have the printf function. So printf, we have written %d, which is the format specifier of int. So though n is the array of data type int, so I have to give the format specifier of int, which is %d. So I have written %d n of 0. So in place of %d, n of 0 will be printed. So n of 0 is 54. So 54 will be printed. In next line, it will print the value of n of 1. That means n array of index 1 will be printed, that is 144. Similarly, n of 2, that means n array of index 2, that is 259 will be printed. So in this way we have stored the numbers. This is the general syntax of storing the numbers into an array, and in this way we can print each value of the array. So this is all about write a program to store 3 numbers into an array and print it. In next program we will see how to enter the values and how to print it, or how to execute it according to the program requirement. Now we will take another example in which we have to enter 5 numbers into an array and we have to print them. So in the previous program we have discussed how to store the numbers. In this program we will be entering 5 numbers from the user and we will printing the values. So moving on to the program general syntax is hash include stdio.h, which is a general header file of C programming language. Then comes your void main. Now we have to enter 5 numbers. That means we have to take the array of 5 elements. That means we have to declare an array. Let's say I will take the name of the array as n and I have to specify the size of the array as 5 because we have to enter 5 numbers. Next we have to print them. So I will take another counter, let's say C. Why I have taken counter, it will be discussed in the program. So I will write C equal to 0, C less than 5, C plus plus, and I have to enter the numbers one by one using n of C. Again I have to specify C equal to 0, C less than 5, C plus plus, and I have to print each value of the array. Now we will see why I have taken a loop over here, why I have taken a counter C over here, and why I have taken 2 loops over here. So actually what happens here, this is a small number, let's say 5. But if we have the program as up to enter 50 numbers, so how many times I will write? N of 1, n of 0, n of 1, n of 2. In this way I cannot store all the times, so, or I cannot enter all the times. I cannot write that scanf %d n of 0, n of 1, n of 2. How many times I will write? That means 50 numbers will have 50 number of lines for accepting the values. So to minimize the number of lines, I have used the concept of loop over here. So loop starts from 0 because the array index starts from 0 and it will move up to the previous value of the size of the array. That means 0 to 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 numbers. So for this reason I have taken for loop to enter the values. Similarly, to calculate or to print the values, we have to take another for loop. So let's take the rough work of this program. So I have written n of 5. That means n of 5 memory blocks will be stored in the memory. int c. So I have taken another counter variable, that is c. So here c equal to 0. That means c will carry the value as 0. So it will check 0 is less than 5, true or false? Yes, true. If it's true, then it will enter the block. Now it will enter the block and it will accept the values because we have written scanf function. N of c. N of c means n of 0. So in n of 0, we have to enter a value. So we have the index as 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So suppose a user has entered 144. So 144 will be stored in n of c. That means n of 0. Similarly, when it will come to this curly bracket, the pointer will move to c plus plus. That means c will be incremented by 1. So now again it will check the condition. 1 is less than 5. True. It will enter another value from the user. So n of c means n of 1. Suppose 544. Next, again it will come to curly bracket and it will be redirected to c plus plus. Now c will value 2. So 2 is less than 5. Yes, true. Now it will enter another value in n of c. So n of 2, let's say 1414. So in this way the loop will continue up to 4 and we will store another 2 numbers. Suppose 2009, 144 or 244, anything we have stored. Now when c will be again incremented, let's say c will have the value as 5. So it will check 5 is less than 5, true or false. So it will be false. So it will exit from this loop and it will move to this loop. Now this loop is actually responsible for printing the values of each array or each index values. So again the c value must be started from 0 because the index starts from 0. As C contains the value 0, so again the value of C will come from 0. So 0 is less than 5, true or false? Yes, true. It will print n of C. N of C means n of 0. So n of 0 is 144. So it will print 144. Next time again C++. So C will have value 1. 1 is less than 5. Yes, true. Now it will print n of C in next line because we have given an escape sequence \n over here. So it will move to the next line and it will print the second value, that becomes 544. In this way, C value will be incremented to 2 is less than 5. Yes, true. Now it will print the value of C. That means n of 2 is 1414. Then 2009 and finally 244. So when C value will become 5, so it will check 5 is less than 5. No, 5 is not less than 5. So it will not enter this block. It will come out from this for loop and finally from the void main. So in this way, we have entered 5 numbers into the array and we have printed all the 5 numbers. So for this reason, we have taken 2 for loops. So similarly, in accessing or in using the array, we must use the looping so that it will be easy for us to access or calculate the values or elements of the array. So in next program, we will be describing how to use or how to evaluate the elements of the array within the program as per the requirement of the program. So you have already seen the concept of array, the characteristics of array, how array should be initialized, how to declare the array, how to use it while storing the numbers, and how to enter the values from the user. All the things we have described in this video. I hope you all have understood what is the concept of array and all the topics under it. So in the next videos, we will be describing what is the concept of 2-dimensional array and 3D or multi-dimensional arrays. Till then, thank you.